Welcome to the Rain Sessions podcast, powered by swingjuice.com. I hope you enjoy it, and if you like it, please subscribe.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Me too, man. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and I'm really glad to get to chat with you at this stage of your career. So, talk to me a little bit. You just retired from playing professional golf, but you're kind of moving into a new realm. How are things going for you?
Man, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, I miss playing golf, but the media side has been a lot of fun. I have a radio show with my buddy Drew Stoltz 3 days a week on Sirius XM called Gravy and the Sleaze, and then we also have a podcast with golf.com called Golf SupPar that's just been doing awesome and getting tons of feedback on it, and it's a blast. I was on TV recently with ESPN doing some of their coverage of the PGA Championship, so I'll say I think I've been working harder than ever, but I'm having a lot of fun and a lot less stress. That's
Yeah,
for sure. Taking
yeah.
that ball around.
No, I can imagine. Now, is this something that you kind of always had in the back of your mind? Like, I know it's probably tough to, when you're playing, thinking what post-career could look like, but has that been something that you've been interested in, or it just sort of kind of came about?
It's funny. My mom told me, like, growing up when I was really young, she's like, I always was fascinated with like the broadcasting part of watching sports and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I always thought I would play golf until I can't play anymore, and
Right.
make a career out of that. But I got a call one day from Ross Malloy at CBS that said he thinks I'd be pretty good at this and wanted to try me out. And I don't know. I was hurt when it happened, and I went and did it, and I was like, wow, I really like this. This is fun. I'm still around the game a lot.
Yeah.
I get to still be around all the guys that I've competed against, but in a much less stressful form. And so it's been fun. I'm just I pride myself on entertaining people and having fun and trying to make people laugh, and it's nice to bring that to the golf world.
That's great. And it's funny. I've heard that you were literally the biggest golf fan. Like, golf is either on your TV or in your mind or in your consciousness 24/7. Now, I'm imagining that passion, for the game has helped you in the media world.
There's no doubt. I mean, I love the game of golf. I love all sports. I mean, there's very rare is sports not on my TV if I'm at home. But I still love playing. I play 3-4 days a week when I'm not working. But yeah, I have such a passion for it. I feel like I was a late starter to the game of golf. I didn't pick up a club till I was 13.
Is that right?
So yeah, so
Wow.
I still feel like I'm learning things. So it's fun. I love sitting with swing instructors on the range and just watching what they do with their students, whether it be George Gankis or my guy Mark Blackburn or Randy Smith or Butch Harmon. I love just sitting there and watching and listening and seeing if I can pick up on anything. And also it's just it's so cool just being out there. Like, I love walking up and down the range at the PGA a couple weeks ago and just talking to the guys, and it's fun to see that they get excited when I walk up as well. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So what originally drew you to the game? I mean, like you said, you started a little bit later than I guess most people would assume that a tour professional did. Like, what originally brought you, into this great game?
Yeah, so my friends obviously played a lot growing up, and I've always been a sports freak. I've had a ball in my hand from day one. Wanted to play football, basketball, baseball, hockey, everything, and I kind of realized pretty quickly that I wasn't quite built for a lot of the other sports. I wasn't going to be 6'5" and tall and skinny or strong or anything like that. And I picked up golf, and I just loved it. I mean, obviously, seeing Tiger Woods win the Masters was like my first real golf memory.
Yeah.
And that just kind of got me going, and I really just dedicated myself to golf. I quit everything else, focused on it, and just fell in love with the game. I was lucky. My stepdad at the time, back when I was young, owned a horse ranch. It had 55 acres, and basically I had a pasture to myself where I just shagged my own balls. And
Wow.
so I had my own driving range at home, and I'd hit balls all day long, go pick them up, hit them again. And just, it was one of those things I was blessed to get good at very quickly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, you combine sort of the opportunity in front of you. You had the ability to be able to hit balls all day, but taking that passion to it and bringing it to the level that you have is just unbelievable.
Thank you.
So you've obviously played golf at the highest level, and this is U.S. Open week. So we'll talk U.S. Open. We don't know who's going to win at the end, but obviously we hear a lot about the mental aspect of golf. With the U.S. Open, we're talking the rough. We're talking probably the hardest setup of the season. Talk to me a little bit about obviously how you got into the mental aspect of the game, how important it is for current players, and what are some of the things that just our kind of our average golfers can work on here.
I think it's different for everyone. I think, certain guys play well under certain situations. And like for me, kind of growing up as an underdog, not hitting it that far, and I was kind of always told I couldn't make it, couldn't do it. And so I played with a chip on my shoulder. Like I'm this fun-loving, happy-going guy, off the golf course. On the golf course, I'm a little bulldog, and I'm tough on myself out there, and I expect a lot of myself. But that's when I played my best, when I had a little bit of meanness in me.
Yeah.
And that's just what, you look at Brooks Koepka, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. That's what makes him so great.
Yeah.
And then you have Dustin Johnson, who's just looks like he's just out there going through the motions and gets it done. I think it's just different for everybody. Everybody's got to find their niche. What makes them tick? What gets them to perform their best? And for me, it was just always having that, those voices in the back of my head saying I couldn't do it, and I just wanted to really prove them wrong. And that worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody. I still like to laugh and have a good time out there, but when it's time to hit a shot and focus in, I was 100% in, and loved having that chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, like you said, and this is probably true with all sports. We've seen it. We've seen it in the players at the highest level, whether it be football, someone like Tom Brady, or basketball, someone like MJ. It's like again, there's this drive that just gets people out of bed, and especially in a competition situation, that keeps them going.
I think that's what's so fascinating about MJ. It's like when you watch The Last Dance, like he wasn't very well liked out on the court. No one liked playing against him. Obviously, he was the best, but he was mean, and it's a good mean. That's just part of sports. That's competition. That's what brings you out. He wanted to, no matter who he was playing, what he was doing, whether it be golf now or basketball, he wants to beat you up pretty good, and he wants to show he's the man.
Yeah, no, it's ruthless. Which again, there's a reason why certain people are good, and there's a reason why certain people are great, and he kind of fit in that category. So speaking of golf's highest levels, we talk about your professional career, but obviously you had one of the most decorated amateur careers, being U.S. Amateur Champion. Let's talk about the 2007 Ryder Cup team. That's considered one of the greatest squads of all time. You have to have some great stories about that team, competing with them as a group. And I heard that you might have a Ricky Fowler story too.
Oh man,
one or two
from that week. That was my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
In amateur golf, and speaking of having a chip on your shoulder, I remember the year before we were at a big amateur event, the Monroe Invitational, and I finished 7th place, and Trent Leon joked around with me. He's like, "Oh, way to earn those Walker Cup points," acting like I would never make the team. And I was like, "Okay, well, I did earn some, so let's go with it." And so that was kind of my goal all along, was to make the Walker Cup team, and more than win the U.S. Amateur or anything, I just wanted to be on that team. And now looking back, being on arguably the greatest team to ever be assembled for a Walker Cup is really cool. I have tons of stuff in my office here, for the show and tell part. I was going to show you a cool picture here. But getting paired with Dustin Johnson in alternate shot both days was something I'll never forget. The first tee was one of the coolest scenes for me in my golfing life. We're in Northern Ireland at Royal County Down. We're playing Rory McIlroy, who's 18 years old. He's the young stud over there, up and coming, and other kid from Ireland, Jonathan Caldwell. And I don't know how many people were around the first tee, but to me it looked 20,000 people. It was wall to wall, all around, 5 deep. Rory's the guy over there, and they introduced the match. From USA, Dustin Johnson and Colt Knost playing Rory McIlroy and Jonathan Caldwell, and we had the honor. And they said, now on the tee representing USA, Dustin, and then whoosh, you hear him hit a shot, Johnson, and he hit the ball before they finished saying his name. And I looked at him, I go, "What the hell was that?" He goes, "Dude, I was so nervous." He goes, "I just had to get it over with." And I started laughing. He's like, "You just wait till you have to hit your first shot." And so we get up there, and he hits this bomb. 400 yards off the first hole. It's par 5. He outdrove Rory about 80 yards.
Wow.
And so I have 7 iron into this par 5, and I'm getting ready to get over it, and I just hear, that's when at the Walker Cup, they let the fans walk down the fairway. They just have people with ropes holding it up. And I just hear all these footsteps behind me, and I turn around, and there's just a sea of people, and my heart started pumping 1,000 miles an hour. It was cool. It's one of those things I'll never forget. But playing with Dustin, the world-class player he was, and then Jonathan Moore making the eagle putt on the last to win us the Walker Cup was just, it's cool. Those are my favorite memories from golf. I mean, I always said, like, I honestly think I would rather play on a Ryder Cup team than win a major.
Yeah.
Just because those weeks are something you'll never forget, because golf's such a lonely game.
Right.
Being able to be in that team environment is so cool.
I mean, again, I feel the same way. I mean, again, I'm an average golfer. I'm an amateur golfer, but as a golf fan, watching golf on TV other than the majors, I feel like I like watching the Ryder Cup and the Walker Cup. The team events.
You see the passion.
Yeah, and it's like, because you don't get that in golf, and the fact that, again, it's like USA versus everybody. Yeah, I love that aspect as well. Now, did you, throughout your playing career, would you draw off of those experiences? From the Walker Cup as you're coming down the stretch in tournaments, or kind of getting geared up for majors and things like that?
Not a ton. I mean, I guess just with it being team golf, it's different. But I mean, yeah, you try to think back on all the cool shots you hit under pressure. And I mean, I remember the chip shot I hit on 18, the last hole of the Walker Cup. I got up and down against Danny Willett, and like to hit that shot under pressure was so cool. But yeah, you definitely reflect on those good memories. I mean, because there's so much doubt. There's so many. It's amazing in a golf swing how fast it is, how many thoughts go through your head. So, you try to block all that out, but that's what makes this game so fun, how challenging it is, because the brain is so powerful. It really gets in the way a lot. That's why, I think everybody talks about how Dustin's just that he's got the brain for golf, where he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember the bad stuff, and it's cool. And I love the way he goes about the game.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and again, I wish I had some of that in my golf game. That's for sure. So we had another question for you. This was kind of off the beaten path, and our mutual friend Kara, who's our marketing director for us here at Swing Juice, she wanted me to tell you she did not ask this question, but a friend of yours sent this question in, and he goes by the initials Kelly James. So he wanted me to ask you this question. You're known as one of the best entertainers in golf, but supposedly you have these legendary parties on Tuesday nights before the Byron Nelson. Please talk about that a little bit, because from what I've heard, it is the place to be. Who shows up? Who's mingling around? And what did it feel like on the course the next day?
Yeah, so they were on Mondays. I'll say that because I wanted days to recover. But basically, when I was growing up and I first got on tour, Tommy Armour III, he always had the party on Monday night. His house was right off the driving range.
Right.
There in Dallas, and it was legendary. I mean, everyone came. I mean, a lot of celebrities in Dallas, a lot of females, everything. I mean, it was a popular spot for guys playing the tournament that would want to go. And he basically told me, he's like, "Hey, I'm done with this." And I was like, "Well, do you mind if I try taking it over? I'm never gonna. They're big shoes to fill, but I'll try my best." And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." And so some of my best friends in Dallas own bars, and so they were nice enough Monday night to like give. It started out one time they just gave me part of the bar one night. I flew Kelly in so he could sing, and it's just kind of one of those ones. I'm a social guy. I'm out a lot, so I just always invite everyone.
Yeah.
Basically, I was lucky enough to get some sponsors and everything, but basically it was a good ratio. I'll say that.
I was gonna ask, like the ratio sounds like it was, it was pretty advantageous. If you're a young single guy, that'd be the place to be.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. Kelly was a big fan of coming to my parties. It was good. I mean, like I said, free drinks and good entertainment, it's hard to pass up on, right? And so
it sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I think I did it for like 5 years, and then I moved out to Scottsdale, and that was enough. But it's fun. Everybody's like, "Come back in and throw another party." I'm like, dude, first off, it cost me money, time, and energy. It was an exhausting process, and it's always one of those ones like, God, I want to throw this party, and I don't want to be the guy where no one shows up. Like, that would suck. And I've been so lucky every year that I did it, that it was an absolute blast. And Kelly loves talking about those evenings.
So how did it feel on the golf course? You said your parties on Mondays. Were was it kind of like a hair of the dog type of thing?
Yeah, the good news is it was in Dallas, so like I know the golf course extremely well. So I took my time getting to the golf course on Tuesday. It was normally like a late 9 holes Tuesday afternoon. It was nothing stressful, and then come Wednesday we were back to normal and getting ready to get after it again.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, if you do resurrect the party, please save an invite for me.
We'll see. Maybe one day.
All right. I hope so. So who is in your golf crew? Like, who's your typical golf crew? You play golf quite a bit. Again, you're a retired professional golfer, but you love the game as much as you ever have. Who's in your typical, your crew during the week when you get out there and knocking around?
So basically, anyone that likes to gamble and have a good time is invited. But I play up at Whisper Rock here in Scottsdale. It's an awesome place where a ton of PGA Tour players are members, bunch of great guys. But basically, I play every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we have a game. There's always two of us, me and a guy named Jamie Stowitz, who's a dentist, who has the same work schedule I do. He works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he plays golf every other day.
Match made in heaven.
Normally you'll throw in another PGA Tour player. We got Ches Reavie that plays in the game a lot, Max Homa, Jeff Ogilvy when he was living here played a lot. But it's just anyone that likes action and likes to trash talk, they're invited, and they know they can lose a little bit of cash. So as long as you're okay with that, but you can also win a lot, you're invited. But Whisper Rock's got such a cool membership. It is a blast, and it's one of those places like you can just show up and they'll find you a game.
Yeah.
You don't really have. It's not hard to organize it, but it's a blast, man. That's my favorite thing to do. That's what I said about just being on this side of the business now. Just the golf is just so less. I'm probably playing the best golf of my life right now because I don't care really.
Right.
I don't practice.
You have that DJ mindset. It's just
I show up, I warm up, and I'm like, how can I win this hole? And then if it doesn't go my way, I'm like, all right, well, let's go to the next one. How can I win that? If I shoot 65 and win money, great. If I shoot 75 and win money, I'm just as happy. As long as I win money at the end of the day, I'm in a good mood.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh man, that sounds like a dream life. I'm coming your way someday. So you've played golf with everybody. Who are who are three people that that you've played golf with that you love to golf with, and three that you haven't that you'd love to play with at some point?
Yeah, Phil Mickelson was such an idol of mine growing up, and was one of the guys that was so great to me when I was getting ready to turn pro, whether I was going to stay amateur or wait till the Masters to turn pro. And he was one of the guys that reached out to me. It was awesome. So we've always had an awesome relationship. And I remember the first time I played with him was just one of the coolest experiences of my life. And we became like kind of frequent practice round partners because we both love to trash talk and we both love to gamble. So he's always one of my favorite guys to play with. Just through golf, I've met so many cool people. I've been so lucky. To have a relationship with Michael Jordan, and I've played golf with him probably 7 to 10 times.
Wow.
Just so cool to go. Arguably one of the most nervous I've ever been on the first tee was the first time I played golf with Michael Jordan.
Is that right? Oh, I can imagine. God. I can imagine.
Yeah, he's an icon. He's everyone. It's so crazy to look at Michael Jordan, and like you have these 7, 8-year-old kids nowadays that have never seen him play, and they're wearing Air Jordan shoes and stuff like that. I just think that's you give him so much credit for his legacy. Like it'll always be there. But that was really cool. And I'm a huge country music fan, and I've played golf with George Strait, who's the king of country music. Yeah. That's something that's really cool to me. But as far as like guys I love playing with, like Gary Woodland's my best buddy in the world. So anytime I can get out and play with him, it's a blast. But there's very few guys I don't enjoy playing with. It's just I love the game. I'm so lucky to get to do this and get paid to do it. It's a lot of fun. Obviously Tiger's a guy that I never got to play with that I would do anything to play with. I'm trying to think of who else. Arnold Palmer is just the ultimate in our game. The ultimate gentleman, and just his swag. I've got to meet him the few years I played the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and he's just so nice to everyone. He's just like he's the cool guy. Yeah. Loves to have a cocktail and just loves to have a good time. And I think me and him would have really hit it off and had a lot of fun playing golf together. I'm trying to think who the third would be that I haven't ever played with. I don't know. I've been very lucky and played with a lot of really, really cool people. Yeah. If I was just going to go down like the golf road, then I would throw Jack Nicklaus in there.
Of course,
obviously. Three of the all-time greats. But like I said, I've been so lucky to play with some of the coolest people on this planet.
Yeah. Do you ever think back to you grew up in a little town in Texas, tiny town in Texas, and you can say that you've played golf at the highest level, you've won at golf at the highest level, and then you're palling around with MJ and Phil Mickelson and Charles Barkley, like all these names. Do you pinch yourself every now and again, like, wow, it's been great, but I still have a great road ahead?
It's crazy. It really is. I do. I pinch myself all the time. I was sitting there the other night. We were watching college football and stuff, and just having a good time, having some cocktails. And my phone rings. It's a FaceTime from Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, like And my buddy sees my phone. He's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "This is just, it's so cool. Like,
Day in the
I'm
life.
able to make these relationships with these guys. It's just, that's what's so cool about the game of golf, though.
Yeah.
Is everyone plays golf. It seems like everyone loves golf, and so you get to meet all these cool people. I've been very, very lucky. There's no doubt about it.
Hey, man, honestly, it's that's the one thing I say about golf. When people, for me, obviously, I'm golf obsessed with the brand and everything that we're doing, here at Swing Juice. But it's like you're able to have so much access just by playing the game of golf, whether it be from a business standpoint or a personal level. It really is unbelievable. And I truly think, like, with this whole the way things have happened with COVID, I feel like people are finally realizing that golf is a great game to just get outside and be with friends, and you can socially distance. And I feel like the
Golf
game
is
is going to
booming.
grow. I think the game is going to grow like tenfold more so than it ever has.
Yeah,
you know.
it's doing unbelievable right now. I mean, you can see, like, I mean, the rounds of golf are up, the sales of golf equipment and stuff like that. It's the highest it's ever been. I mean, obviously, this is a tragic time right now in the world, but golf is benefiting from it, and I think it's bringing a lot of new people to the game of golf, which is awesome.
No doubt, no doubt at all. Well, thanks so much for doing this, man. I really, really appreciate it. So, like I said, I've been a fan for a while, so it's so great to finally connect with you. So, what would you say? Two last questions. What's your favorite memory from your time playing on the PGA Tour? I'm sure there's a million of them. Obviously playing with all these incredibly fascinating people. But what's your if you could think of one or two memories from playing on the PGA Tour, what would stand out the most?
Yeah, I mean, I had a few good chances to win out there, but I would definitely say, like, the 2016 Players Championship when I tied the course record on Friday, and then had a chance to win on Sunday. I was a couple back with 5 or 6 holes to play, and just being at that golf course in that atmosphere and one of the biggest tournaments of the year was something I'll always remember. I mean, it was still, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I mean, trying to hit that shot on 17 with 20,000 people around the green was really cool. And I look back to, like, even like my first ever golf tournament on the PGA Tour. I Monday qualified for the Byron Nelson in college, and I shot 64 on Friday with a bogey on the last hole. But
I actually remember watching that.
Yeah,
to be
I
honest
mean,
with
I was just a nobody. I was a college kid.
I remember
and
it.
It went from nobody out there watching me play to literally the last 3 holes. There was thousands of people following my group, and that's one thing I'll never ever forget. I'll never forget how nervous I was on the bunker shot on 18 that day, and how nervous I was the next day trying to tee it up when I was in the top 10 of the PGA Tour event, the first one I ever played.
Yeah.
So that it's cool. I would say it was a very fun career. I'm disappointed that I didn't do more with it, but to play as many years and as many events as I did, it was a blessing and a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. It's like, listen, you've done something that 99.9% of the population will never do. So congratulations on all of it. It's really special.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Congrats to y'all at Swing Juice. Y'all are killing it.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Like I said, we've been connected for several years now, but thank you for the support. I really, really truly appreciate it. So we have one last thing. So we got a little thing we call show and tell, kind of like what you do in kindergarten. My daughter started kindergarten today, so little show and tell. Do you have any cool items kicking around amongst all of your coolest items that you have from your golf career?
So I have a wall with a bunch of stuff framed. If I can pick my computer up, I'll show you.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. So I've got my Walker Cup, my USM, and my Pub Links all together here. So I'm going to show you this.
Wow,
so
look at that.
Here's, see if we can, there's a Walker Cup signed by all the team. There's the team, all of us together.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And here's my, see if we go this way, AM and Pub Links that I won in the same year all together.
Awesome.
So
that
some
is
pretty
great.
cool stuff, some pretty cool memories.
Wall of Fame right there. I love it.
Yeah. It's cool. It's fun to look up there. We do our radio show and podcast and stuff in here, and I always make Drew look at the wall. I was actually good at this game one time.
Oh, it's perfect, man. No, it's great. Again, thank you so much. Oh, lastly, U.S. Open picks. Who do you got?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. My favorite to win the golf tournament is Xander Schauffele.
Xander Schauffele, huh?
Guy that doesn't get talked about near enough. He's played three U.S. Opens in his career, and his worst finish is 6th place.
Yeah.
So I think this golf course sets up perfect for him. This kid has no weaknesses, and I think he is a superstar in the making.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. All we hear right now is obviously DJ for good reason,
Of course.
but yeah, I agree. He for somebody that is such a world class player, he does fly under the radar. Like you
Yeah, I
really
mean,
haven't heard anything.
he's not that flashy guy. Doesn't show a lot of emotion, so I don't think he doesn't say controversial things, so he doesn't get all the talk. But man, when it comes to a big stage, he shows up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One of the most consistent players on tour the last few years, and like you said, star in the making. He's already a star, but we're
He
talking.
is a star,
You
but
could be
he's
a
a superstar,
generation.
man.
You could be a generational player. Absolutely.
agree.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please check out swingjuice.com, the go-to place for golf and awesome t-shirts. Use promo code RAINSessions20 for 20% off. Swing Juice, wear your passion on your sleeve.